Hi Kate, thank you for joining us today. It's great to have you in the room again. Kate, I know you've got a great heart for prayer, haven't you?
Yeah, I love praying.
You love praying, I know you do. You know, so often I think people think that praying has to be sat in a room or maybe even on your knees praying or in a church building. I love all those dynamics of praying. I love praying on my own. I love praying with maybe a couple of individuals. I love praying with a corporate group of people.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always have to be in a building, does it?
No, it doesn't. And that's something I'd like to chat with you about today, Jonathan, that there's something called prayer walking, which takes us out of buildings and onto the streets where we live.
Okay, so prayer walking, going out into the streets where we live, where we do life, where we're part of a community, part of a town. I mean, does that mean that we go down the road and we're just like praying loud at the top of our voices? What does that look like?
No, not necessarily. I'm thinking you go out in twos or threes maybe, rather than a large group, and together you can walk to places you feel you want to pray, where you want to pray, and you pray quietly. You can worship. You could have some worship music on, singing quietly, calling on Jesus as you walk the streets.
Right, okay.
It doesn't have to be an exhibition.
No, absolutely. I don't think that's what we want, is it?
Not really, no.
Exhibition, but that whole thing of just going and walking and being a presence and praying in some key places as well. Yeah. Because there are key places, aren't there, where we live, you know. I mean, they are our neighbours that we want to see come to know Jesus, where we want to see restoration come and healing come and all those kind of things. But there are some key places where we really need to pray as well. Do you want to just mention maybe some of those places?
I've got a real heart to go to the schools and go and pray outside the schools. That's where, you know, we've got young people, our Rugby Elim Church family young people, and they attend those schools, and I just want those places to be places where God's presence is felt. Where righteousness gets established, and when we walk around these places praying, God will move and God will change things. And it's also places like the town centre. Absolutely.
I mean, me doing street pastors just over, you know, just a little time ago now, really revealed to me just how much our town needs the presence of Jesus.
That's right. And it's where people go to every day of the week. And then there are places like, you know, the police station. We could just walk on the pavements in front of the police station and ask God to reduce crime in the area. And support our police when they go out onto the streets. And where they go and support victims of crime. We can be praying for them. And even our town hall, we've got councillors, we've got Rugby Borough Council here. And we want to have prosperity, we want economic growth, because we want people to be blessed in rugby.
And there is something about going, isn't there? Because you can be in a building, be it in your home or wherever it is, but actually to go to a place and to be able to see it through those eyes is really powerful, isn't it?
I think so. And in Joshua, God promised Joshua, wherever you go, wherever you set your foot, I will give you that place. And when Joshua and Caleb went out as spies into the land, they saw with the eye of faith.
That's right, absolutely.
God really gave them that vision because they were stepping out. And I think it comes alive when we walk the streets and claim it for God. It does something in our own spirits.
Absolutely. And it's good for physical being as well, as I keep saying about my steps, you know, you get some steps in at the same time, but it's not about that, but it is really about going out there and praying in incredible ways and see God move. But it's not just something that we're talking about. We know that throughout years that people have been doing that, and 24/7 have done something. You know, just chat about that.
The 24/7 prayer movement. They've produced a really useful tool for this, for prayer walking, and they use the acronym WALK. So W is for worship. So you start by going out and focusing on God, praising and worshipping Him. You might want to use a worship song and play that quietly as you go.
Yeah.
So you focus on Jesus. And then the next letter, A, for ask.
Yeah.
So then you go about petitioning God, asking His Holy Spirit to come and fill the places where you're walking.
Yeah, great.
And then you might have specifics that you want to pray about. You might be in your neighbourhood, so you've got families that you want to pray about, or situations you know about. So you ask God.
Yeah.
And then there's L for listening. It's really important when you pray to listen to God. Pick up on what He's saying to you. He might be giving you words for the community you're walking in.
Yeah.
Also, if you're praying with other people, listen to how they're praying too, because they can spark something in you. So that's really important. And then obviously we've got the K. And it's really important to have knowledge about the area you're praying for, or the town you're praying for. Rugby's got specific needs. It's worth looking up to see, in the area where you live, are there a lot of young people that are roaming the streets? They might have created a gang culture.
Sure.
We can pray against that if we know to pray that.
Yeah.
Or we know that perhaps certain areas there might be quite a lot of drug activity. So if we know it where we're walking, we can pray against that, because we need to have knowledge to pray specifically, to have breakthroughs come.
Yeah. And sometimes it's when you are walking, you're going to gain that knowledge because of what you see, what you hear, what you experience, and that.
Right.
So we really want to encourage people, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
To actually get out and to walk. Maybe even to drive for some people, some people that may not be able to physically walk. It may be that they can get in a car and they can go to specific areas and they can look and they can see and they can pray as well, can't they? So we really want to encourage people to do that.
Yeah.
And I think there will be times as well where we want to go together.
Yeah, that would be really good.
As big a group of people, obviously we'll split off in 2s or 3s and go to areas. So there will be times that we want to do that as a community of believers. But we just really want to encourage people, why not get out, walk our area and pray for God's kingdom to come here on earth, and maybe to get hold of somebody else and say to somebody, would you come with me? Maybe somebody who's close to where you live, or it may be that somebody's got a specific heart for schools or for the government or for the police, whatever it may be, and encourage them to do that. Anything else you want to share today?
I think if people have sort of caught that little spark of going prayer walking, if you do decide to go, we would love to hear where you've been.
Yes.
We'd like to map out where we're praying, so that we can cover a lot of ground really in that.
Absolutely.
And if people have got some testimonies to share, if God's told them things while they're praying, if they've had just a great time together, because it means we're fellowshipping with each other as well, and encouraging one another to pray as we go. So we'd love to hear back from them.
It'd be great to hear stories of what's going on as they pray, and it may be that God gives them revelation, gives them insight that we want to hear back from that. It may even be that people encounter other individuals on the street, and who knows, maybe even lead them to Jesus. Why not?
Exactly, that would just be amazing.
It would be amazing. So it'd be great to hear back from people, and eventually it'd be great if we could cover so much of this community in praying for God's will to be done here on earth as it is in heaven. So great. Thank you, Kate, for sharing with us today, and we look forward to mobilizing so many people just to go out and to pray and to walk. Let it be, Lord, let it be. Let it be. Brilliant.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you.